Um, this is project two. This is project two, and this the my first part of the code is prompt bank. The prompt bank is basically like I use the what's it called again? I use the starter code that the teacher gave us to be able to do this. Okay, and then the class name is PromptBank. Is prompt bank. Uh, this is basically like it's an AI and it's gonna ask you questions and then it's gonna answer, it's gonna respond back to you and stuff like that. And it's like and the AI name is kind of it's called Eliza. Okay, uh, let's just start. Uh, this these two strings of this is where the basically this is where the statements and the question will be stored. There's two strings of all the questions and the statements. In total, it's gonna be about five questions. In total, it's gonna be about five questions, five statements. And these arrays is for the statements. So it's like five empty boxes. This is where all the statements would be put. All the statement in question will be put. Uh, uh this these are the statements. I one statement is tell me about okay, let me explain blank one and blank two. Blank one is basically the the first word and blank two is the last word. So blank one is the user first word and blank two is the user last word. Alright. So the first is gonna tell you is like tell me about blank one and blank two. And the second one is gonna be blank one still important to you. So does blank two so does blank two. Please tell me about it. And then it's gonna ask you blank one and blank two seems to be fully on your mind. Let's talk about it. Why do you think blank one relates to blank two? It sounds like blank one and blank two matter to you. Tell me more. See, these are the statements that these are the statements that it will say. So it will say all these statements in order. Right. These are the questions. Okay. So these are the questions. So so you know how like I said, blank one is the first word and blank two is the first. No, blank one is the first word, blank two is the last word. It's like if 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 the user type in if the user type in today is Friday, the first word will be today and the last will be Friday. You see? Alright. So then alright, this is the questions. So the first question is gonna ask you, was there one of the first questions I ask you is there anything else about blank one and blank two? This is gonna be does blank one bother you? How about oh does blank one bother you? How about blank two? Or blank one and blank two things you think about often? How long have blank one and blank two been affecting you? Does blank one and blank two usually happen together? Yes. Uh, this part of the code is this part of the code is to roll is to roll is to roll a number is to roll numbers of random numbers. Uh, it uses that number to pick up the five statement and send it back to the main program. So it basically pick five randoms numbers and send it back to the program. So it could print one of these statements or one of these questions. And this does the same thing. But in something but this time is questions. I And now let's go to the ProjectEliza. So this is where um the user basically inputs will be put. So anything a user type in will be stored here. I mm, I this this the class name is Project Eliza, right there. And then this scanner is to make sure the reader you just make sure the user input is read. So anything the user type in this to be sure it read it, and then it's able to use it to run the code. Uh, then oh, this is the object holder for reservation. So 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 the purpose is to create a PromptBank object that store Eliza sentences. So Eliza is basically the yeah. So store the this is to make sure that it it basically store the the sentences from here, the sentences, the sentences from here, and questions from here, and and store it so they can be used for this program. Uh, This will basically load the statements, and this will load the questions. The first thing is gonna ask. The first thing is gonna ask you. First thing gonna print or and ask you. It's gonna say, "Hello, my name is Eliza. What's your name?" And then you basically write your you basically write your answer, and then this string will basically save your answer. So like basically save your name, and then because it saved your name, it's gonna use it for the next code. So the next line is gonna say, if I say my name is Francois, it's gonna be hello Francois. Tell me what is on your mind today in one sentence. Ah, and then let's go to the main loop. Hi. So so the loop, the purpose of this loop is to keep the Eliza, keep Eliza, I think it's Eliza, Eliza talking forever until the user decides to exit. So, so then the first thing is going to say this is basically this. Hi, this the if so for you to exit the code, you have to tap exit. The purpose of uh this specific line is to make sure that even if you type it uppercase or lowercase, it will still see it as exit. So if you type it as exit, it's gonna it's gonna print the the statements. Do you want to run the session again? And then if you type no, if you type yes or no, it's gonna read this line. It's gonna print the statement. So if you type yes, it's gonna print tell me what is on your mind today. If you type no, it's gonna say goodbye until next time. So if you type yes, the code's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going, asking you statements and stuff like that. If you type no, it's just gonna end. Then this this last chore is to check the last characters. So the edit characters like these characters, like an exclamation mark, question mark, or anything normal. So this is to display the sentences into individual words and stuff like that. Oh, this this is this this um this kind of like make sure that the user do you make sure the user first it gets the first words the user type in, then this it gets the last word the user type in. So it basically it gets the last word the user type in and then it will move the last punctuations at the end. Right. Okay. This line of code is to make sure that even if you type the letter lowercase or uppercase, it will still see it as I. And if you use I, the word if you use I, the AI will view it as you. So as like if you change if you use I, it will change it to you. So the AI will sound more human. Okay. Mm. All right. This string is your response. So it will hold the chosen template. So if the the last if the say the last part of the your sentences is a question mark, it will basically read it as a it will basically respond as it will respond as a question. See? So so if you use a question mark, Eliza will pick a question template for you. Basically pick a question statement for you. If you use if you use uh like exclamation point, if you use exclamation point, basically why war dramatic, and then if you use it will be related, and then if you use anything else like anything else, it's gonna use a normal statement for you. So for this part, if you use this at the end, it will give you a question. If you use this at the end, it will mostly print. It will print. It will print war dramatic, and then it will continue. Okay, this whatever code. This purpose is to replace blank one and blank two manually, and then it's gonna punch the AI reply. And this basically to close the program to make sure that it doesn't interfere with this program. The purpose of the purpose of this is to the purpose of this is to hold the final sentence. The purpose of this is to get through each word by one. So is to go to each word one by one. And then the the, the purpose for the purpose for the purpose for the and then the purpose for the for loop, and then the purpose for the for loop is to go through each word one by one, and then of of, of the purpose of this program, the string clean, also the thing is to erase the symbols at the end. So if you use a question mark, it's gonna erase it. If you use a exclamation point, it's gonna replace it. It's gonna remove it. And then this, ah, then I'm done. Now let me test. Yeah, I'm gonna run the code. Run the code. So I'm gonna use the like example that the teacher gave us. So for example, if it's gonna first thing it's gonna ask you is what's your name? Then I'm gonna write my name. So my name's Ethan. Then it's gonna say hello, Ikwe. Tell me what is on your mind. I'm gonna say I'm writing based on the example. So I'm gonna say today is Friday. Then it's gonna say today and Friday seem to be on your mind. Let's talk more about it. I'm gonna say today is a great day. It's gonna say today seem important to you. So please tell me about it. Um, let me make up something. Um, I don't know what to say. Well, let me just change this. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna put an exclamation point. Hmm. So if you put an exclamation point, it will run this exact code. But if you don't put an exclamation and if you put no, it will run something else. So, for example, so I put no, it's gonna say whoa, dramatic. And then if I change that, and then if I put the regular no without exclamation point, it's gonna say it's gonna basically use the response. It's gonna use my response, and it's gonna say no, no seem to be on your mind. Let's talk about it. See, so this doesn't make sense. So if you want not if you don't want to answer the question, you're gonna have to write exactly no with a exclamation point. See, then if you want to end the the if you want to end the the program, if you want to exit it, end it, you write exit. That's gonna ask you, do you want to run the session again? Then you write no. This time you don't need the ex, exclamation point. You don't need that. So if you write no, then it's gonna say goodbye until next. See? So let's just keep texting. Let's keep testing. So if I run the code again, this is gonna ask you for your name again. So this time I'm gonna continue it. So I'm not gonna exit. No, I'm gonna say exit, but I'm still gonna continue. So this time I'm gonna say let's equal let's equal hello equal. Tell me more. Tell me what's on your mind and or something. So I'm gonna write something. So there is day. Then today's swimming point to you. So does Friday. Please tell me about it. Friday is Okay. Okay. Well, then, it sound like Friday and great matter to you. Tell me more. So I'm gonna say on a line no. Then if I type no, I'm gonna use a exclamation point. So no, it's gonna say well dramatic. Then I'm gonna exit. The area exit say, do you wanna run the session again? And then this time I'm gonna say yes. You see, and it's gonna ask me question. There's gonna they're gonna restart one session instead. Tell me what's on your mind. Um, um, uh, school and and study. Tell me more about school and study. And, yeah, this is the end. Thank you for listening.